Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Find Out What's in Pelenta's Forrest. We have an exciting show lined up for you this evening, so grab yourself a glass of water or a cup of tea and spend the next few minutes with me. And like I always tell you, don't believe everything you hear. Do your own research and check your facts. Tonight, we will be talking about how a weasel shut down the Hadron Collider, the man himself, Elon Musk, and a data recorder that was lost and sunken, but now found. Tonight's background music will be The Thrill Is Gone by the Manhattan Transfers, Roxanne by The Police, Mary Jane by Rick James. And as soon as the Gap Band brings us on in with the party train, we will be right back with some real news. Anybody wanna take this ride? Be sure to get your ticket. Hurry, don't you miss it. And everybody's got to stand in line to be sure that you will be right on time. Everybody, come aboard. Everybody, come aboard. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ow. Check this out. That never gets old. I love doing that. Getting right to some real news. I have so much stuff here to share with you. My brains are going bananas. I don't know what I want to do first. Okay, let's talk about the Hadron Collider. Okay, in case you don't know what that is, it is the largest and most powerful particle accelerator. And let me tell you what it has. It has two high energy particle beams that travel close to the speed of light, okay? And it also has superconducting electromagnets, a ultra high vacuum, and the temperature is colder than out of space. Now, you have this massive machine, the size of a mansion, and you put a little tiny bit of sugar in the gas tank and it crashes. Well, listen at this. If I could find my notes here. Now, a weasel, dirty little bugger, a weasel got into a 66 kV transformer and damaged the connections. And it was actually running when this happened. So it just crashed. And they say that it's going to take a few days for them to repair it. But it was a severe electrical perturbation. It just amazes me how you can have these big, gigantic, massive machines and you have a little bird or a squirrel or something that just ruins the whole thing. But I know I've been talking a lot about space lately, but there is so much cool stuff going on with NASA and these rockets and everything. You've got to get with the program and stay tuned, because moving right along, Elon Musk. This guy is busy, busy, busy. I would love to spend 5 minutes talking to this man. He was on the news today with this. I'm not even going to get into that. Let me get to this first. SpaceX aims for Mars shot in 2018. Now, I just told you the other day about him trying to get people to Mars by 2025 and would you want to leave the planet and all that. Well, listen at this. SpaceX is shooting for Mars. Elon Musk, the California company's billionaire founder and chief executive, announced via Twitter that he plans to send a Dragon capsule to land on the red planet as early as 2018. It would represent a big first step towards his ultimate goal of colonizing Mars. Do you know what colonizing means? Do you know what that means? In case you don't, that means people are going to be living there and having children there and farming there and eating and living and building lives there. You know what? If you really think about it, that's kind of cool. And if you've been paying attention to the news lately, they are talking more and more and more about us living on other planets. Not to mention, NASA just came out and announced that they've discovered something like between 500 and 1,000 new planets, and they might be just like Earth. Why in the world would you even think that we are all there is? Let me tell you something. That's a whole nother show that would take more than 20 minutes. Okay, the Mars spacecraft will be called Red Dragon. No astronauts will accompany Red Dragon on the first test flight, but this is just the beginning. I am so excited about this. I am going to be following this story like a freaking raven, and I will keep you up to date as to what's going on, because tomorrow's show, I got some more news to share with you. So let's see. Oh, moving right along, I'm going to try to be as brief about this as possible. This is really going to be a two-part story, but check this out. I came across this story somewhat by accident, but it says Ranger, first female infantry officer. Now, this lady, I don't want to say her name because I can't pronounce her last name, but this lady has made history by becoming one of the first women to graduate the Army's Ranger School. Okay? Now, just trying to keep this short, just trying to keep the story short, direct, and to the point. I read online where a lot of people had some very sharp opinions about these particular women taking on these positions. A lot of people are saying things like, how far are women going to go to be men? Well, how far are women going to go to be men? Okay, well, first of all, there is a beautiful woman walking around on this planet right now that is a very successful athlete, educated, the whole 9 yards. That person's name is Caitlyn Jenner, okay? And another comment said something like, women need to stay in their place and all this kind of nonsense. Well, what I have to say about that is there are things that women do just as well as men. There are also things that men do just as well as women. There are also things that women should leave to men, and there are also things that men should leave to women. But at the end of it all, if you are qualified to do something and you do it well, physically and mentally, why should you not be able to do it? And if you are able to do it well, physically and mentally, why should people be bullying you and putting you down and giving you a bunch of lip? So my personal opinion, these two women, congratulations, you did good, and you went through a whole lot of hard work, sweat, steam, and butt kicking to get this title. Congratulations. Moving right along, crews locate a data recorder of a sunken freighter. Search crews found the missing data recorder of the sunken freighter El Faro, which went down in 15,000 feet of water last year after getting caught in a hurricane. Now, scientists and federal accident investigators are using a remotely operated undersea vehicle, and that's what found the device. So now they're trying to take this thing apart and see what happened in the whole 9 yards. One thing that I find so fascinating about these black boxes and these data recorders is when you retrieve them, you get to hear all of what happened, and it answers all these questions about why it went down, what was said, who was talking, and what's going down underneath the sea. So I would love it if I could be in that room and hear what's going on, because you know what? Under the sea, you never know what kind of English those fish might be speaking 15,000 feet under the sea. You never know. Moving right along, I want to share this story because it is so cool. Listen at this. A pastor raises $15,000 in raffles of a King's Prize car. Now listen at this story. The Sacramento pastor who won a new car by sinking a half-court shot in a Sacramento Kings game. Now, this pastor, Joseph Sisek, is a senior pastor at the Center of Praise Ministries in Sacramento. He said after he won the 2016 Ford at the April 5th NBA game, he decided he wanted to support a worthy cause. So he sold the raffle tickets. And after selling over 1,500 raffle tickets, he raised $15,000. Now, you want to hear the punchline to the story? This is amazing. A woman from Oregon didn't own a car. She needed a car, could not afford a car. You know what she did? She bought 13 tickets. The tickets are $1. Now, did you hear me? She bought 13 tickets. She won. You know what that means? This woman just got a 2016 Ford Focus for $13. How is that for a blessing? My goodness. I thought that was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And just in case you didn't know it, the month of May is Bike Month. So, saddle up for safety when you ride your bike in the city. Just a couple of tips. When you ride your bike, make sure you use your rear flashers. Watch out for parked cars. Make eye contact with people. You know, be predictable. Make sure you follow all the traffic signs. Keep your cool. Don't go flipping people off. Make sure you have a light on. And for God's sake, use your hand signals. Wear your helmet. Ring your little bell. Be visible. Don't be in a hurry. Hesitate. Be safe. That is the whole point. And I want to show you a beautiful picture here of somebody riding their bike. But let's see. I don't know who took this picture because it doesn't say. But look at this beautiful picture. Isn't that nice? Doesn't that make you want to just jump on your bicycle and go for a ride? I love that. That is such a beautiful picture. I wanted to share that with you. So moving on to some more news. You know, you often hear a lot about people that are allergic to the powdered gloves. You know, when you work in the hospital, they now make powder-free gloves because so many people have different types of skin allergies, especially with these powdered gloves. Well, listen to this. The FDA is now supposedly going to ban most powdered gloves. And I thought this article was so interesting because, listen, federal health officials are moving to ban most surgical gloves made with powder, a feature designed to make them easier to wear, but it poses a health risk to patients and health professionals. Now, let me tell you why it poses a risk to the patients. Because when it's used during surgery, which of course when you're operating on somebody, you put the gloves on, but get this, when that powdery substance gets into the wound where you're operating on somebody, it causes inflammation in those internal organs during surgery, and it also causes scar tissue and swelling. So when you sew that person up, it causes all kinds of problems with their internal organs. Isn't that amazing? I didn't know that. And when we first started nursing in the hospitals, when you put the gloves on, they didn't start out with the powder. We used to put cornstarch in the gloves and regular powder because if your hands were damp or something, they were really hard to get on. It's just crazy. So here's some interesting facts that I like to always get to. I just told you the other day that seagulls have these glands that can filter out salt water. Well, get this. Penguins can turn salt water into fresh water. Isn't that amazing? And also, did you know that 20% of the Earth's oxygen supply comes from the Amazon rainforest? I did not know that. And you know how people always say things like, oh, why don't you just go stick your head in the sand like an ostrich? Well, did you know the reason why ostriches stick their head in the ground? They do that because they're looking for drinking water. I did not know that. When you start reading and doing research, you find out all kinds of funny facts and information that you otherwise didn't know. Now, I thought this was hilarious. In Atlanta, Georgia, it is illegal to tie a giraffe to a telephone pole or a street lamp. Now, let me ask you a question. If you're in Atlanta, Georgia, or anywhere else for that matter, do people walk giraffes like they walk dogs? I mean, why are you going to tie a giraffe to a street lamp? I mean, I'm just asking. I mean, it just sounds a little crazy to me. And the last thing that I'm going to leave you with this evening is, do you know what a California sea hare is? Well, let me tell you. It is a giant water slug. In other words, it's a snail, a slug, but it's in the water. And that sucker can get as big as 30 inches long, and it can weigh up to 15 pounds. And let me tell you something else that bad boy can do. It can lay 40,000 eggs in a single minute. Well, you know what? I would like to know how fast those jokers can hatch. And when they hatch, what do? Can they run? Do they climb all over you? Matter of fact, I don't even want to get into it. And the last thing I'm going to tell you is, when a baby giraffe is born, it drops 6 feet and lands on its head. Well, if we dropped our babies 6 feet and let them land on their heads, they wouldn't even survive. I guess with the giraffe and that neck and those knobs, I don't know, but that's crazy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our show tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed yourself as much as I did. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Go to my website and please buy my book, Angels Passing Through, PelentaRForrest.com. It is a good read, very inspirational, very positive. And on that note, Carlos Santana is going to take us out with Europa. I am so grateful for everything. And I will see you next time on Find Out What's in Pelenta's Forest. Thank you. God bless you all.